Hey, it's IUI day.
Places you can never go, but I can, but I can.
Hi, I'm Lux. Welcome back to my channel. If you saw the channel intro, then yes, I'm wearing the same thing. I wanted to get these videos out together. I did actually record this one on the day of my appointment last Monday, but I was like in the car. I was all excited, and I might still show that, so we might still show it. I was just all excited, and I don't feel like I really got the information out. I kind of was just like, I'm excited, it's happening, here we go. So I wanted to kind of re-record the process, explain a little bit more, because I was not explaining anything on that. So that's kind of where like I might still include that clip, but it's like, what is she talking about? So hi. So I am becoming a single mom by choice, and I do not want this channel to necessarily be centered around that. There's a lot of channels out there that are about like single mom by choice, why did I choose this, and how much did it cost, and there's a lot of channels out there that have great information to answer those questions. If you guys want to know, I can go into that, but I really don't want that to be the focus of my channel. I don't want it to be like all about being a single mom by choice. That's not what the focus should be. I just want to have my little mommy vlog where I'm talking about my journey as a mother, not necessarily a single mom by choice, just my journey becoming a mother, coming from being a 31-year-old anime nerd who sits here and plays video games and reads books and writes books and does all my little stuff with my dogs, like how I'm going from that to being a mom. So that's kind of what I want to focus on. If you guys want to see any of the other stuff, just let me know in the comment section down below, and we can possibly do some videos on that. But I'm not going to be doing the same sort of like approach. I'm not taking the same path that the other channels have taken. No offense to them. Perfect. I have watched almost every single one of them on YouTube. They've been extremely helpful resources to me. So maybe my mind will change down the line, and I want to help to be a resource to other people, but I do feel like there's enough of it out there that I don't necessarily know what else I can contribute to the conversation that hasn't already been done, is basically where I'm at right now. So last Monday, I went to a consultation at the local fertility clinic, and I had actually started this process. I joined the group, the Single Mothers by Choice Facebook group. I joined it like years and years ago. Like, I'm 31. I think I joined it when I was like 23, 24, something around there, because I knew at that point that this was the path that I wanted to take. I'm asexual, I'm aromantic. I have no interest in a romantic relationship. I don't have any interest in the process that it takes to create a baby, none of that. So I knew from that young that I wanted to do this path eventually. I didn't know if I was going to be carrying myself, if I was going to do adopting. I didn't know all of that at the time, but I knew that I was going to be a mom some way, somehow, eventually. I joined that Facebook group right around like 23, 24. And then at that age, of course, I'm young. I don't even think I was graduated from my undergrad, but I don't think I was graduated from graduate school just yet. Regardless, I was young. I did not have secure finances. I didn't have secure like living situations, anything like that. I was not ready to have a child at 23, 24. Some people are great, proud of you. I was not. I was not that person. Sometimes I feel like I'm still not ready, but we're gonna move forward anyway. But yeah, I didn't really start taking the process seriously until about 2 years ago. I had really good health insurance that was going to cover not like everything in the fertility process. Like, that's really rare to get a insurance plan that'll cover all of it, at least in Florida. In America right now, then yes, it's really hard to get a plan that'll cover all of that. But I had a really good plan that was at least going to cover, it wasn't going to cover like the actual like sperm purchase or any of like the actual process, but it was going to cover like the preconception, like testing, the blood work, all that stuff. It was going to cover all of that. So while I had that plan, I started the process. I went to a different fertility clinic, and I did like my genetic screening. I did my genetic screening there. I did some other tests, just to like look inside, make sure everything was good to go, that we were good to hit go on the actual process. And that's kind of just where that stopped. Like, I didn't really know what was next in the process, and you'll hear this a lot if you're going through this journey. If you are trying to conceive and you're going through a fertility clinic, you'll hear this a lot, that sometimes you need to be your own advocate. they are kind of just pushing people through the doors, and they don't necessarily pay attention to you as a single individual. And I think that's kind of what that first clinic was doing. Like, they gave me the test, they gave me what I asked for, and then because I didn't ask for anything else, that's where the process stopped. But I didn't know what to ask for at that time. I knew I had to do my test, so I did my test, and I thought like somebody at that point would be like, okay, here's your next steps, here's what we do next, here's how we move forward. Nothing really happened with that. So then it was kind of back in my court. And so I was kind of like, okay, and this is the point where I was still trying to like penny pinch. I was still trying to do this the cheapest way possible. And that was my mistake. I should not have tried to do it the cheapest way possible. So I did try a known donor last year. So my test was 2 years ago. It was in March of 2022. And then I kind of just, I didn't really know what to do. Probably had some like life things slowing me down, some things where I couldn't focus on it or whatever. Now we are in like spring, early summer of 2023. I found a known donor that I was going to try a couple cycles with. That did not really go very well. And that is just because I kind of got some weird vibes. You know, if you've been through this, you know the weird vibes. He was really chill, really cool, all up until like after. I was actually after the first try. Like after the first try, he got a little bit clingy, and it was kind of just like, hey, how are, like he was trying to be friends, and that's not really where I was at. I wasn't trying to be friends. I wasn't trying to have a relationship, obviously. That's not where we were at. So it was kind of like I just got that ick, and so I backed off from him. I said, no, that's not gonna go very well. He also wouldn't like sign anything that would like remove parental rights or anything like that. And I wanted to be as secure as possible, knowing that 10, 12, 13, 14, however many years down the line, nobody could just reappear and try to like make a claim to my child. So I backed off from him. And then I went back to the drawing board, still determined to do it the cheapest way. So I found another donor that I was a little bit more strict with my vetting on, and he was good, he was great. Located in California though, so he had to ship to me, and he did ship to me chilled. It was very sterile. He had like very professional, very good gentleman, but I don't think that the shipping process was going to necessarily work for me. It's just it's a tricky thing with timing and with keeping the sperm alive long enough to actually use it. So I feel like the California to Florida thing, along with my own personal timing, it was not a good idea. So like I could have tried that. I did try that one cycle earlier this year, April this year. It did not take. So I could have tried that again, but I was just kind of like, all right, it's like almost $200 to overnight this every time. And it's so particular about the timing, and there's no like actual research into how to actually use like the chilled. There's research into using fresh sperm, there's research into using frozen sperm. Chilled, we're all kind of just guessing. And I was like, it's $200 each time that I'm trying this, and it's so subjective that it's like, why am I doing that when it's like, at this point I need to just move forward with doing it the more expensive way. I didn't jump right to IVF, so I'm not doing it the most expensive way. Kudos to everyone who has to do it that way. I'm so sorry. I wish there was other options. I don't know why it's so expensive. I mean, I know the science is why it's so expensive, but like, it's expensive. So I decided to move forward with IUI instead. And I reached out to a different clinic than the one that I used in 2022, because again, I just felt like I was alone on an island with that clinic, and now I'm in a better position. I know a little bit more about what I need, what I want, so I was able to advocate for myself a little bit more. But I do feel like this clinic, like I went in Monday, guns blazing, ready to fight for myself, and they kind of like, we're just like, no, here's your next steps, here's what we're gonna do today, here's what we're gonna do tomorrow, here's what we're gonna do next week. So it was like, I went in guns blazing, and like this clinic was already ready to like help me through the process a little bit more, so I'm very grateful to them for that. So yeah, I went in last Monday for my consultation. You know, they asked me some questions about my process, very welcoming, no judgment at all for me being single by choice. They walked me through everything, explained the process, my next steps. We did blood work and a urinalysis in the office that day. Still waiting on the blood work results. I have to go in on Wednesday either way. So I'm hoping that the blood work results will be in by then, because that's going to tell me my CMV status, which if you've been through this process, you know they are very strict about if you are CMV negative, choosing a CMV negative donor. But for me, with the donor choices that I have lined up that I want to use, all of them are positive. It's so tricky. I'm also B negative blood type, so like if I were to choose the perfect donor, they'd have to be, if I'm CMV negative, they would have to be CMV negative and negative blood type RH factor. That is, if you go to the sperm banks and you put those filters in, the results go from like 1,000 to 13. So it narrows down the options significantly. If this blood work comes back and says I am not CMV positive, I'm going to have to fight, because I've done my research. I'm comfortable with the risks. I would like to use my donor that I have already picked out. Even my two backup ones are CMV positive, so it's like I would really like to just advocate for myself, fight, let them know that, you know, I have done my research. I'm comfortable with the risks. I'm going to move forward with these donors. With or without you, I'm going to move forward with these donors, basically. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I have on Wednesday, so my appointment last week was just my consultation basically, but they did kind of do a little next step stuff where they did the blood work and all that. And then they told me to call them on day 1 of my next period so that we can do my baseline testing and stuff for this cycle. Now, I knew when I scheduled the appointment that my period was coming anytime in the next week. I predicted Thursday, Friday. My period started full flow on Wednesday, but I started getting like the really bad pains and spotting on Tuesday. So it was a couple days earlier than I expected, but I knew it was going to be right in that week. So I called them on Thursday, which was technically day 2 of my cycle. They said the first day of full flow was when they told me to call them. I tried calling on first day and I didn't get through to anyone, but I also realized that they had given me a specific, like, they'd given me the direct extension number and I just didn't see that part. So when I called on Wednesday, I didn't call that number. I just called the main line and didn't get through to anyone. But then when I called on Thursday, I actually read my paperwork that said call this direct line. And so I called the direct line and what do you know? Somebody answered. So I said, you know, it's day 2. And so they scheduled me for my HSG and my baseline testing, which will be this Wednesday. I go in at 8:30 in the morning and they're going to, you know, they're going to do exome foam to do the HSG, make sure everything's okay in there and that we're good to proceed. And if we are good to proceed, then we are going to try my first IUI the first week of November is when I'm predicted for my next cycle, not this one, but the next one. So yeah, that's where we are at in the process right now. I'm super excited. This is obviously something I've been wanting for years and years and years, and something I've been waiting for. And I'm ready. So it's exciting. We're in the exciting phase right now. Some things that I really did enjoy were with this clinic was they actually explained things to me, like the HSG. My testing 2 years ago, I was offered the HSG, but it was optional and it was like another $300-400. And again, 2 years ago, I was still trying to do this the cheapest way possible. So I declined it. What they didn't tell me, but that this clinic did and that I wish they would have, and this is a little bit of content warning for a little bit more sensitive topics, they recommended that I do proceed with the HSG this time because I have a history of SA. And so that can sometimes cause like trauma in there, obviously. So it can cause tubes to close. It can cause other things to go wrong in there. So it's really recommended, especially for victims, to have that test done before moving through with any other fertility process or like any other fertility cycles programs. Fertility procedures. So, yeah, so I did opt to do that test this time. Honestly, it's not that much difference in pricing, and I'd rather know that before I spend, you know, if you are going through this cycle, this process, you know the cost of sperm. I would rather spend that money to just know yes or no, we're good to go, before I drop $1,400-1,500 on some sperm just to find out that there was something wrong in the factory in the first place. So like whatever, we'll get that test out of the way, we'll get that baseline established, make sure everything's good to go, get the timing and stuff figured out, because I have been a little bit lax in doing my ovulation test. the past couple months. I was doing it really, really well. I was tracking it every single month. And then when I tried in April, when I got that negative, it did kind of like emotionally knock it out of me a little bit. And then I moved in May. I half moved in May, and then I moved the rest in June. Life has just been up and down crazy, so I really had done like falling off of the ovulation tracking. And so I don't have accurate dates. I have like my January through April tracking windows, but like April through September is blank. So I did want this one cycle to kind of just like make sure that everything is still lined up timing wise to what I was predicting. So yeah, we'll do that this cycle, and then next cycle we will be trying to inseminate, and I'm super excited. Yeah, so that is my really quick update here. I will probably condense this all into one video. If I do those clips from last week, I will put them in here, and then I will do some recording, some vlogging for my appointment on Wednesday and put that all in one video, kind of like as my first steps in my process. So that's the update on my mommy journey. I'm very excited for what the future has in store for me. We're really hoping for a 2025 baby over here. My family's excited. We're all just excited. We're ready. So yeah, if you would like to follow along on this journey, be sure to hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment. Let me know where you are at in your journey, and I will upload more videos as I have more updates. But that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Okay, so I just had my HSG, which everyone said it was going to be super painful, super uncomfortable. Like, there was a little bit of discomfort, but where I'm at, I'm like, if my period cramps were like that, we'd be talking a different game right now. Like, I can handle that. That is great. That was beautiful. Like, you can put me through that every month and I'll be fine. Whatever I actually go through every month is not fine. That is not, we're not doing that. But either way, it was so awkward and so weird. Like, they were literally like, oh, you're so photogenic. Look how good your photos are. And I'm like, thanks. Like, I didn't do anything with that, but all good right now. They said they're gonna like look everything over and reach out later with like results and all that. Everything right now looks good. The same fibroids that I had 2 years ago are still there, but they are not ones that are going to interfere with anything. Like, they're outside, they're out of the way, basically. Like, I don't know terminology and all that, but I know that one is on the outside of my uterus and the other one is inside, but it's so little and it's out of the way that they said that it's not going to be a problem. It's not going to complicate anything. They also are totally cool with my choice. I am CMV negative. They are totally cool with my choice of using a CMV positive donor. I just had to sign a waiver saying, you know, like, I know the risks, I'm aware of the risks, and that I'm okay with it. And I am. I mean, I've done the research into it, and I know that at least for the sperm banks that I am looking at, they don't allow anyone to donate with an active infection, so it would have to be inactive. And it's just something that's always in your system. So it's like, once you get chickenpox, you're immune to chickenpox. Once you've had mono, you're immune to mono. So it's something like that, where it's something that's always in the bloodstream. It's not an active infection. When they donate, they're not allowed to donate if it's an active infection. So my chances of contracting it from the donor sperm is very, very slim. And as far as the research that I've done, as far as all of the people in the Facebook groups that I'm part of, no one has contracted it from using a donor that is CMV positive. So I'm cool with it. I'm fine with that risk. I'm going to proceed with my donor, which is great because I really didn't want to have to, like, I even looked last night when I got my blood work results. I looked again to see if there was any new CMV negative donors that I would be okay with. And I was not in love with them the way that I am in love with the one that I have chosen. So I'm really glad that they're so willing to work with that for me, and everything is good. I have to get one more thing of blood work that's done with fasting that I can't get until the 4th just because there wasn't appointments at Quest. So I'm going on the 4th for that, and then it's just buying the sperm and then trying. So I think it'll be next cycle. I'm going to try for around the 4th. I just have to reach out to my care coordinator and ask, like, what does the process look like? If I'm trying next cycle, do I have to, like, reach out when I get a positive test? Like, I have to just figure out, like, what that is. Like, do I monitor myself? So we're doing unmedicated for this first cycle, so I have to just find out if it's like, do I monitor myself? Am I just doing the test strips and then I'm letting them know, like, hey, it's getting warmer, the line is getting darker, and then timing of the shipping the sperm. I believe they said that they have the capability of keeping it frozen here, so I should be able to not have to worry about, like, timing. I can send it, like, super early. The tanks from Seattle Sperm Bank last a week either way, so I could literally send it, like, super early because they have the capacity to keep it frozen there. So I don't even have to worry about making sure it's, like, perfect timing with, like, just two or 3 days before. Like, none of that is a problem for me. So I'm excited. Everything looks positive right now. We're moving forward. We're going good. Okay, forgive my lighting. My mini ring light won't turn on, and I don't feel like going to get the big one. But I wanted to give a quick update. You might be able to hear the air fryer in the background as well. We're just a mess over here. I just wanted to give this update and stop putting it off because I keep putting it off and forgetting about it. But it's been a little while since the last update. Today is November 14th. So in my last video, I mentioned that I had to just get one last thing of blood work, and then hopefully I was going to do my transfer on November 4th. Obviously that didn't happen. We're here now. So it took a little bit longer than anticipated for me to get that blood work. That was just financial wise. I just wanted to wait until I had a little bit more spending money, to pay for those tests. And then we got the results probably about a week and a half ago-ish. Probably actually like a week, because my doctor emailed me about it on Friday. And it's Thursday today. So we got the results, mostly good, all good things. The only negative was that my DHEAS was high, and that combined with the fact that my AMH was high in my previous blood work, they have diagnosed me with PCOS. On the one hand, I'm really happy to finally have answers because it's been 17 years of suffering and just being told, hey, it's really bad cramps, just take some Tylenol and get over it. I knew it wasn't that. I knew it was something more serious. It's just kind of like a little bit deflating, I guess, discouraging that I finally get that answer now when I'm trying to get pregnant. So on the one hand, I'm glad I finally have answers. It shouldn't affect anything. I'm one of the lucky ones who I do get my period every single month. As far as every month that I've been tracking it, I ovulate every month, or at least I LH surge. I don't think that it necessarily equals, like, you can LH surge and not ovulate. So I LH surge every month. So my doctor is going to we're going to proceed this cycle with a medicated IUI. So before I was saying we were going to do an unmedicated cycle. We're not doing an unmedicated cycle. We are going to do medicated. We're going to do letrozole. I don't know if she's going to do a trigger or not. That I think we'll have to wait until I have to call on day one of full flow of my next cycle, which is any day now. I have to call on day one of that, and we'll do an ultrasound on that day. So I guess, like, the results that we see over the next few days of testing will determine if we're going to trigger shot or not. All good, honestly. Like, I think we're in a good spot. As long as everything lines up time-wise, we should be good to go with IUI on December 2nd or 3rd. That's assuming my period starts on Sunday, the 17th this month, or later. I would prefer it to be the 17th or later, just because if it's any earlier, that puts us in the week of Thanksgiving, and that's just a little bit tricky timing. I would like to avoid Thanksgiving completely. I don't want to even risk surging on Thanksgiving. I don't think it's a risk right now. I am feeling a little bit of, like, cramps. I call it, like, my pre-show, my period pre-show. I'm feeling a little bit of that cramping right now. It's not bad enough yet. I'm talking and I'm recording this video, so it's not bad enough yet that I think my period is starting, but that might be overnight tonight. That's usually, it happens to me overnight. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because my body's relaxed and I'm sleeping. I don't know. That's usually when it hits me the hardest. So it could be overnight tonight. But also day one of the worst pain is day one. I don't usually hit full flow on that same day. It's usually just hours of excruciating pain and I'm not even bleeding. So I'm like, what is this pain for? Because I'm not even bleeding. And then like day two of what I think is my period is when I actually full flow. So assuming that nothing happens right now, and it's not, even if it happens tonight overnight, then tomorrow should be my 1 day of suffering and pain, and then my full flow shouldn't start till Saturday, which would be fine because that still puts, I usually ovulate around day 16 or 17 of my cycle. That would put us on December 1st and 2nd as day 16 and 17, which is a little bit easier to work with as far as what my clinic will be able to work with the holiday. So I would really like to keep full flow from not doing anything until Sunday at the earliest, but obviously that's not in my control. A little nervous on the timing, but as far as right now, we are moving forward. I have to call on day one of my next cycle to go in for an ultrasound. And then there's either gonna be 1 or 2 more ultrasounds between, I'm just gonna say Sunday, between Sunday and between December 2nd, there will be 1 or 2 more ultrasounds to see how things are progressing, decide if we need a trigger shot or not. And then IUI will be sometime December 2nd, 3rd, 4th. I already took 2 days off, more just because I want to not have to worry about work. I don't even want to think about work. I want to bask in my own joy and have my own time to me and not worry about work. So I took 2 days off. I took the 2nd and 3rd, but I did let my boss know. I didn't tell him what the procedure was. I just let him know that, hey, I have a medical procedure coming up the first week of December. I put the time in for the 2nd and the 3rd. It might flex. It might be the 3rd and the 4th, for example. So he's totally cool with that. He's aware of it. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, I'm in the car again because it's just easiest to do this in the car when it's right after the appointment and everything is fresh on my mind. And so I'm just always in the car for these vlogs, so sorry about that. But yeah, my period started on Monday, and so I called my fertility clinic like they had told me, and they wanted to get me in on day 4 for my ultrasound. So that was this morning. Went in super quick. I was literally making the joke. I was like, it just cost me $250 for this ultrasound, and I was in there for literally no lie. The time I sat down on that table, 4 minutes. 4 minutes and I was out. And I was like, that would cost me $250. That was the most expensive 4 minutes of my life. But jokes aside, they usually review stuff around like noon. They review like the samples and the tests from the morning. So they did that. They just gave me a call like an hour ago. Everything looks good. We're good to proceed. And said that she sent my script for letrozole and progesterone to the pharmacy. So I'm on my way to pick that up right now. That is, the letrozole is 2 pills a day for the next 5 days. I have to take it at the same time every day. So if I take it at 6 p.m. tonight, I have to do it the next couple nights at the same exact time. So we're gonna do that. And then that's gonna be for the next 5 days, which brings me up to Monday. Tuesday, I do nothing. I don't take any meds, and I don't start testing. I start testing ovulation on the first urine in the morning, starting Wednesday. And then I call when I get a positive, if I get a positive, which I don't think I will. I usually don't ovulate until day 16, 17, which is probably going to be around December 4th or 5th at this rate. So my specimen is being delivered on the 2nd, actually. I had it scheduled for the Friday because I was just nervous with the holiday pricing, but the lab's not open to receive it, so they had me move that delivery to the 2nd. So, you know, as long as shipping isn't delayed or anything, you know, I really hope not. As long as it's not delayed or anything, that won't be a problem. I don't think I will ovulate that early. That's so early in my cycle for me. So I think we'll be in good shape. So I just have to start testing as of Wednesday, to start testing and call when I get that positive, or either way, I'm going in on the 2nd for another ultrasound, and that'll just be to make sure like I'm responding to the meds and all of that good stuff. So we'll do that on the 2nd, and then depending on the results of that, if I'm responding to the meds, that's great. We're not doing a trigger shot if I'm responding to the meds, and I will ovulate on my own. if at that point they're looking and it doesn't look like I'll be ovulating on my own, we will do a trigger shot. They'll send the Obduril script for me, and then that will be shipped to my house. We'll do the trigger shot, and I will be in for my IUI that week. It'll all be that week. So exciting. I do also want to point out, because we were previously planning on unmedicated, I wasn't expecting the expense of letrozole or anything like that. So what was it, like a week or two ago, that they let me know we were going to do a medicated cycle. I went on GoodRx to check the pricing of letrozole just to see how much I needed to account for in my budget, and it was like $40 at that time. So I was like, okay, good, expecting that. And then when we just confirmed that was being sent, she sent it to my pharmacy. I checked again to make sure, just being paranoid, making sure it still says 40. I know it said 40 last week. It did not. It said 80 this week. It said 83 something actually. But CVS said $13. So I had it sent to Walmart because when I looked a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever, Walmart was the cheapest. So that's where I had her send my script. And then I didn't check again until after, and that's where I saw the 80. So then I saw that CVS was now $13, and I was like, well, why would I pay 80 when it's 13 literally next door? So I just called Walmart and I was like, hey, can you just confirm the pricing for me on that? Is it really 80? And they were like, yes, it's really 80. They explained the whole thing to me, how GoodRx works and all that. So it makes sense now, in hindsight, it makes sense. But they said that it is a script that can be transferred, like it's not a narcotic or anything, so they can transfer it to another pharmacy. So I'm on my way to CVS now to see if they can transfer the letrozole there. I can just pay $13 for it instead of $80, and then I can still get my progesterone at Walmart. That one doesn't matter. That's CVS or Walmart. I think that was the same price either way. It was like $10 either way. So yeah, we're gonna go pick those up. I start the letrozole tonight, and then the progesterone I just don't touch. It's in my email. My exact instructions are in my email. I don't remember it clearly right now, but I believe it's that the progesterone, I know we're not taking the progesterone right now. I believe it's 3 days after ovulation is when I start taking that. I think that's what they said. So yeah, that's the update. I'm excited. I'm so excited. It feels so real, so scary. I was literally I ordered my sperm yesterday, and not only was that the scariest transaction I've ever done in my life, ever. And I'm talking back in May, I swiped my card for $3,500 for my apartment deposit. I thought that was scary. That wasn't scary because that was just my apartment. I knew I was getting I was holding the keys to my apartment. I knew that. This is scary. It's half the price, but it's scarier. I don't know. It was scary. You literally just hit cart, add to cart, and then you hit checkout, and nobody is like, stop, what are you doing? Do you have permission to do, they just let you do that. It's so crazy, it's so weird, it's insane to me, but that happened. I did pay to upgrade my tank to a 2-week tank. It's something that was recommended because I'm shipping during this holiday period. It's something that's recommended on Seattle Sperm Bank's site, and I saw it on a couple other sites as well, that they were just saying because of possible shipment delays, just to be safe and do that upgrade. And it's a difference of $50, and I was like, I would rather have that peace of mind, that $50 for a 2-week tank, than to be risking it and say 1 week is fine, and then it gets delayed in shipping 3 days or something. That was just too much for me. So I just, peace of mind, 50 extra bucks, whatever. It's, at this point, $50 is nothing compared to what I've invested into this. So yeah, it just feels so real. It's so scary. It's it's literally less than 2 weeks away. It's here, it's happening, and it's something that I've been thinking about for so long, for so many years, that it's just the fact that it's finally happening is so surreal. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So hopefully next update will be IUI day, I think. I mean, maybe I'll do the ultrasound day. Obviously, we want to see what that results are. So probably the next time you hear from me will be on my ultrasound right before IUI, and then we'll obviously do ovulation day. So, yay, exciting. Okay, it's IUI day. Okay, I'm about to tally your medicine, and then I have to take the dogs out to go to the bathroom, and then I will head to the clinic. today. I triggered on Monday at 10 p.m. And I was a little nervous because, oh, we are out of mess. We got to do the dishes, guys. I was a little nervous because I took an OPK on Monday at like 5 p.m. So I had my last ultrasound Monday morning. And then I took my last OPK Monday at 5 p.m. and I saw a surge. And I was supposed to trigger at 10 p.m. I still triggered at 10 p.m. But I was like really nervous and I called my doctor in the morning and I was like, hey, does this mean I surged too early? Like, does this bump things up or anything? And she said, no, it does not. Everything should be good to go for today. So I was a little nervous, but I'm a little bit less nervous now. Especially because I did test again yesterday. I know you're not supposed to test after you take the trigger shot because it's going to say surge, but I was afraid that I missed it. I was afraid that the test that I did on Monday at 5 was like after the surge. So it was helpful to see it surge higher. Callie, come on. After the morning after. So yeah, I'm about to walk the dogs and then I will be on my way to the clinic. Okay, I'm super early. Of course I'm super early. My appointment is at 9:45. It is 9:13. I just wanted to leave I wanted to leave the house by 9, and I did leave the house by 9 because I didn't know how traffic would be. No, I'm just excited. I'm just excited, so I got here too early. So I'm just gonna sit here in the car for a little bit. I don't want to like sit in there for half an hour. Like, my sperm thaw started at 9, so like it's not even like they can start anything early. So I'm just gonna sit here for a few minutes, chill, and then go in. Okay, I didn't feel like getting the tripod out, so excuse the moving camera and the dog chewing on the bowl in the background. I'm either in the car or the dogs are chewing, squeaking, doing something, because that's my life. But yeah, we just had our IUI. I'm home now. I don't know what time it is. Probably like 11, close to 11. So my IUI was scheduled for 9:45. They actually didn't get me like in the room until like 10, and the actual IUI itself was like more like 10:15. But I guess like the timing is at least flexible enough that it's not the end of the world. And Callie just threw her toy into the Christmas tree. Let's see how this goes. Get it, Ban. Ban. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get your toy. Goodness gracious, these children. Okay, so. Yeah, so the actual IUI, like inserting the IUI, was probably around like 10:15. And then I sat on the table for obviously like 15 minutes, sat there, knees up, just chilling, just vibing. It was obviously super quick. I didn't feel any pain. Like there was the slightest bit of discomfort. Like the speculum is like, it wasn't even like discomfort, it's just like heavy. It's like putting a weight down there. So like that's all it was. Like I didn't find any pain. Like there was a little bit of cramping when like actually the IUI was actually like going inserted. There was a little bit of cramping. They warned me about that, but like it wasn't anything severe or major. Definitely some like minor cramps after, like even after I left the clinic, when I was in the car, like there was just some minor cramps, but I've been having those anyway. Like yesterday, my trigger shot was on Monday. It's Wednesday today. And then yesterday I was like, I almost wish I took yesterday off work. I have today off of work and tomorrow, but I almost wish I took yesterday off as well, because like I was just uncomfortable yesterday. Like the trigger shot was on Monday night at 10 p.m. and then just yesterday, it wasn't a cramp. Like, you know, the ache when you just did ab day or something, that ache the day after, it was like that, but it was exclusive to my ovaries, and it was specifically the right ovary, which is the one that was doing all the work this time. It's the one with the follicles. The 21 millimeter and 23 millimeter were my follicle measurements on Monday. So that was the one that's doing all the work. So it makes sense that one was the one that was really achy yesterday. So it was like, it was fine if I was just like sitting at my desk, not doing anything. Callie. Hi, baby. I love you. Can you go lay down? Okay. So it was like fine while I was sitting at my desk. If I had to do any like moving around, it was just a little bit uncomfortable. I just was not enjoying that part of it. It got a little bit easier towards the end of the day. So like when I took the dogs out in the morning, I was like, oof, this is rough. But when I took them out in the evening, it was like, I can still feel it, but it wasn't as bad. But that was just where it's like, I wish I took the day off so I could have just like chilled in bed all day. But yeah, so there's a little bit of cramping right now, like not too much. I'm thinking it's still just the after effects of the trigger shot, obviously, because like it's not that instantaneous when they do the IUI, so it's probably just still the trigger shot and all that. But it just makes me feel like good, feel validated. Like to me, feeling those cramps mean it's still within that window. Like I was afraid that like not feeling that pain, that not even pain, it's not pain, like not feeling that slight discomfort, that slight crampiness, like I was afraid that would mean like we've missed the window, time is up, it's too late now. But like feeling it feels reassuring to me. So we'll obviously see that in 2 weeks. We are officially in the 2-week wait. But yeah, that's where we're at. Doctor said there was no restrictions on anything activity wise other than no bath for 24 hours, and she said no alcohol for 36 hours. And I'm just like, ma'am, this deep into the process, this much money into the process, 36 hours. I don't drink anyway, but like even if I did, I wouldn't be touching a glass until either minimum 2 weeks, maximum like 10 months. So like that was just funny to me. But yeah, she said no other restrictions on anything. So like I did have to stop for dog food on my way home, and it's like a 28-pound bag or something, and I was like, oh my gosh, I should not be lifting this, I shouldn't be doing this. But I was like, the doctor said it's fine, it's not even that heavy. So I did stop for dog food. I did carry the dog food up the stairs. We'll see if that's the end of it. I did stop for my McDonald's fries. Wives' tale, I know, but I stopped for my McDonald's fries. I'm in my good luck t-shirt. It says, all you need is faith, trust, and a little bit of pixie dust. So I have my good luck t-shirt on. It was also 40 degrees when I left this morning, so I did have my hoodie on over the top, and it was my Orlando City soccer hoodie, so like that's exciting. So just good vibes, just surrounding myself with all the good things. And now I am off of work today and tomorrow, so I'm just chilling. I'm on the couch right now. I've got my blanket because I'm, doing the Chinese medicine, stay warm, stay cozy. I have it set to 74 in here. That's what I usually have my house set to anyway, so I don't care if it's cold outside. It's 74 in here, and then I've got my nice warm blanket as well. And I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna play my games, read some, maybe write some, maybe draw some. I don't know. I'm just gonna do me. Things that make me feel good, that make me feel calm, make me feel happy. That is the goal of my next 48 hours, is just as much Zen relaxation, me time as possible. But yeah, that's exciting. It's the 2-week wait now. So now we wait. So we'll see. We'll have an update for you in 2 weeks, hopefully. I do think that I might post this video regardless of what the test is. So like everything that we've done up to this, the process so far, I might post that and just not announce the results of the test just yet. I will announce it soon, but let me process that on my own first, and then we'll see about that once that time comes. But for right now, I think this might be the end of this video. If you've watched through this whole thing, I have no idea how long it's going to be. I had to put together all the clips. I don't know. Just thank you for watching, for joining me on this journey, and I look forward to sharing more updates with you very soon. If you are also on a journey like this, best of luck to you, baby dust. And if you've already been through this, helpful advice is much appreciated. Feel free to share any of it. Yeah, I'm excited. 2 weeks.